welcome to Tools Are Tools. I'm your host, Andrew Palmer. Tools Are Tools podcast is powered by Elegant Marketplace, the premier independent WordPress marketplace. I'd like to welcome you to today's guest, Brad Vincent. He's the co-founder of Foo Plugins and also a prolific plugins developer. Hi, Brad. How are you doing today?
Hi there, guys. I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, basically what this is all about is getting down to the down and dirty. You've been a plugin developer for a long, long time. You've got Foo and Foo Gallery, I believe, and a few other plugins with Foo. And basically, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper and say, how did you get into it? How long you've been around? What's the benefit of doing some free plugins? And what's the benefit of doing premium plugins?
Well, okay. Let me start at the beginning. So I'm Brad Vincent. I was born in South Africa, recently moved to the Isle of Man in the UK. In about 2012, or maybe even before that, I can't actually remember, I started developing plugins in WordPress. Before that, I used to develop in .NET and C#, mostly websites, and some back-end services. And then I found WordPress and I started creating WordPress plugins. And one of the first plugins I created was Foo, which was a fun little notification plugin, pretty much a clone of HelloBar, which is, I think it's still quite popular, but Foo became quite a popular plugin on Code Canyon. That's where I released it. And I did that with a developer friend of mine, Steve Usher. Shortly after that, I met Adam Warner, who is quite well known in the WordPress community. And him and I got together and we decided we're going to make a new company called Foo Plugins. So the goal of Foo Plugins was to create useful plugins in WordPress and sell them online. So the first plugin we created was Foo Box, which is a Lightbox plugin. It had some pretty cool features at the time, which were quite unique. It was fully responsive. It had social sharing built in, and that did pretty well. And then from there, we grew Foo Plugins, and we created what's our most popular plugin now called Foo Gallery, which is our take on the whole gallery plugin within WordPress. So we're just trying to make it really simple for people to create media galleries using videos and images within WordPress. And yeah, we've pretty much grown from there. The team has grown. My wife has joined the company and she's now running it from an admin point of view. We've got Phil Coxon in New Zealand who's leading our support. And Steve and myself and some other developers are doing the plugin development.
That's all really, it's amazing, isn't it? You've got, we're in the middle of April and we've got some situations with COVID-19 going on and you're already talking about, how you are all working from different locations in the world. And so we're all used to working from home and working remotely. And just to let people know that Foo Gallery is like at 200,000 downloads currently or something. So
yes, it's got 200,000 active installs from the WordPress.org repo, which we're very proud about. And that's the free version. And then obviously we've got a pro version as well, which has a whole bunch of extra better features.
Yeah, I've got the pro version. I do use it. I've got it probably on 20 websites. I'm using it. So nice. I love it. And I used to use Foo as well. I don't know why I stopped using it. Maybe I didn't like the announcements at the top, and Hello Bar had a few
Foo
things.
is a bit outdated. We need to give that a bit of a remake.
Well, I think with also the page builders in this world, they all kind of take over the header, don't they? So you've got to make sure that is it JavaScript driven?
Yes, yeah.
So there's some conflicts in JavaScript, and some themes like to load JavaScript first or last or concatenate it or whatever it does, and it can muck up little additions like that, can't it? It can concatenate. That's it. I can't say that word. But it's a really interesting story there. South African now living in the Isle of Man, which is known to be windy and quite cold. It's kind of off the coast of Ireland, I think, isn't it? If people really don't know where it is a UK based, but it's also. I think there's tax benefits as well living there. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I certainly know that it's like a Jersey or a Guernsey. The islands as well.
There are tax benefits, yes.
And of course, it's the home of the TT racing, the motorbike racing as well. So you can have some fun around there. I'm not sure whether that's going to go ahead this year.
No, unfortunately, it was cancelled, and it would have been my first TT. So I'm really bummed about that.
Yeah, it's a real shame. I've been there. I've done it twice, and it's a phenomenal experience because they literally close down the whole island, and you can't. You have to walk everywhere. It's like
I've heard. Yeah, place. I have to wait till next year.
So on the development side and on the support side, if you've got 200,000 free users and I suppose a few, 10,000, maybe 20,000 premium users, and those premium users will then add those to websites because they're developers. How's support going for you? How are you handling that?
So we have struggled with support in the past, and obviously when you get so many users, to scale your support is always, quite difficult to do. So we provide support on the WordPress.org. There's a support thread that most people use, and any of the free users can create topics and ask us questions there, and we try to respond there relatively quickly within 24 hours, but that is difficult based on the number that we get. And for the premium users, we have a proper support. We use Help Scout for our support, and we also have a dedicated support team that we've outsourced to Influx. So Influx is a support as a service company. We onboarded them a couple of months ago. We upskilled them in our plugins, and they now handle the first line support. And if they can't answer any of the questions, then they escalate that that incident or that issue with Phil, who heads up our support team, or it just gets escalated to the developers, and the developers tackle it.
And that's worked out to be cost effective for you. Outsourcing, we're always worried about outsourcing and how that's going and what that kind of cost is. But there's a cost time benefit plus customer service benefit. And if you provide the best customer service, i.e. support, then you're going to, one, retain your customers, and two, that's going to go around and say, well, you're doing some great support there. So are you finding it a benefit, or is it more of a hindrance, do you think?
So we tried to do support in-house completely, the developers handling everything, and that didn't work too well because all of our time was then going to the support, and we couldn't develop any new features. We couldn't fix bugs quickly enough. So that didn't really work. So since we've got Phil on board, he's really made a huge difference. And he pays attention to the customers. He gives them thorough responses, exactly like support should be handled. And the Influx team, they also do a really good job. And he's upskilled them and trained them how to answer the queries, how to respond to customers. And then Tam is also my wife. She's also helped from a documentation point of view. So she's moved all of our documentation for the plugins onto Foo plugins. When there's a new support query that comes in repeatedly, then we create a documentation for that query, and then we can share the link to that in future. So that's also helped. Now that we have Influx together with Phil, who's full-time support, that's given myself and the developers a lot of free time so that we can, focus on the development of new features for Foo Gallery and Foo Box.
Perfect. And that's the way to do it, really, is that, you've got to be able to improve and enhance and bug fix. And, when you fix a bug, sometimes another bug appears. It's just what programming is all about, really. Yeah. It's always going to happen. So if you can, and I know this is like a drive-by shooting question, tell me really the total USP of Foo Gallery and why a user would want to use that other than, not Next.Gen or any other gallery, but the WordPress gallery, for instance, is not very flexible. It's you get what you get, and maybe in some themes like Divi theme and Avada and stuff like that, they might have a gallery plugin already in there or built in. What's the benefit of using the Foo Gallery?
Okay,
I know it. I just want others to know it.
Yeah, so the aim of Foo Gallery, because I've used so many galleries, and when we built FooBox, we tried to integrate FooBox with as many galleries as we could, and then from doing that, I realized, there's not actually that many good galleries out there, and this was a couple of years ago, and there are a lot of good galleries out there now. But the goal with Foo Gallery is just to be extremely user friendly. So we want you to be able to create a gallery from your media library within 1 minute. Choose a gallery layout. We call them gallery templates. So you can go masonry, or there's a grid gallery, there's a slider gallery, there's the default responsive gallery. So you can choose your gallery, create it from the media library, and in 1 minute you have an awesome looking professional gallery on your site. That was the main goal. And then from there we decided, okay, well, you definitely need video if you want to create, professional galleries in your website, especially for businesses. So we built in a functionality to import videos from YouTube, Vimeo, Facebook, and other sources. And then after that, a lot of people ask for filtering. So you want to be able to tag your images or videos, and then you want a fancy little filter above the gallery so the visitors can, filter down the gallery by the tag that they click on. So we built in a tag filtering. We then also built in some pretty cool hover effects that are unique to Foo Gallery. So when you hover over your images, there's really cool CSS transitions and animations that happen. We then built in a Pro Lightbox. So Foo Gallery Pro has a lightbox with a thumbnail strip. So it's all integrated, it all works seamlessly. Pagination, so galleries that are really large in size and many hundreds of images. So you might want to add pagination. So we did that. There's many different features. Instagram filters, so you can add, exactly like you filter your images on Instagram, you can add these cool, funky filters to your thumbnails in the gallery. And there's also a lot of new features coming. So
cool. Well, it's one of the features. I'm thinking, you've got the gallery there. Are you thinking about building image compression into Foo Gallery, or is that something that's not in your mind because there's so many image optimization opportunities out there?
Yeah, it has been asked many times. We've decided not to build that in because there are so many players in the market that do that already. There's Optimal, there's Short Pixel, and we've partnered with the likes of Short Pixel to provide image optimization. So we share a link within our plugin to details on how you can install Short Pixel and then get the benefits of those optimized images from there.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm ashamed of myself for asking a question that somebody else has already asked. What sort of podcaster am I? On the improvements, can you give us a hint of what's going to come to Foo Gallery, or is that a bit of a trade secret?
No, it's fine. So something that we've been working on really recently is bulk tag management. So we've added tag filtering that's available in Pro at the moment, but it's really not easy to assign tags to different images in bulk. So you can do it one at a time, but if you've got a gallery with 50 images or 100 images, it takes you a good half an hour to assign tags to those images.
Sure.
So I've created a bulk management screen where you can select multiple images at once within the gallery, select multiple tags, and do the assignment in bulk. That's a feature that I haven't seen in any other plugin available on the market, so I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Another frequently requested feature is multi-level filtering. So again, with filtering just seems to be so popular. But you have one level of filtering above your gallery at a time, and that's the norm. We want to give you the ability to add multiple filters. So, for example, I want to filter by colors. I then want to filter by sizes. I then want to filter by country, for example. You could set up 3 levels of filtering in a gallery. And then the next big one is WooCommerce integration. So,
thank you. I was just about to say, so that you can filter. The reason people want to filter them multi-level is to maybe set up a sales website, a shop, a store.
Yeah. So we want to be able to, we want our users to sell their images using the gallery. So they don't need to click on a link to take them to a page and then go through that process. We want to build the cart directly into the gallery and the Lightbox. So everything is seamless, everything works together, and then behind the scenes, that integrates with WooCommerce.
Any other platforms like EDD or Cart Flows or what am I thinking? Thrivecart or any things like that? Because I'll tell you what's really growing on the e-commerce marketplaces or the market, people selling stuff through Thrivecart. And one of the reasons for that is because it's got an affiliate system built in. And then you've got Adam Prizer and Brainstorm Forces, Cart Flows and things like that. So, just if I was in conversation with you at WordCamp or something, I'd say, well, think about doing that, but I'm not. So I'm thinking, I'm saying, do that as well. Think about other opportunities as well. WooCommerce is a great start, phenomenal, because that is the whole point. Wedding photographers want to do that. Have you got privacy controls as well? Maybe thinking about that in the future for wedding photographers or portrait photographers.
Yes, so we're going to start with WooCommerce. I mean, that's the obvious one. It's got the market share from an e-commerce point of view, so we'll start there. EDD is on the list. I'll have to check out Thrive and see if we can do that one. But the beauty of Foo Gallery behind the scenes is everything's built on WordPress action and filters, so we should be able to extend it to work with any e-commerce plugin. Just on the privacy thing, so we have had requests in the past where wedding photographers want to publish a gallery, that's only one of their customers can view, and then they can choose images that they want and that to buy from that selection, and then submit that back to the photographer. That's something like proofing.
Sure.
So that's something we want to look at in the future as well.
Watermarking, that sort of thing.
So watermarking has also been requested often. There are a number of plugins that do watermarking, and we suggest to use those whenever we get asked. But it is something that we're going to probably build in, because Foo Gallery does its own image cropping and resizing under the hood. It uses WordPress core libraries, but we do control most of that. So it makes sense for us to also do the watermarking side of things too.
Brilliant. Right. So that, I think, is enough information within the podcast that we've got. I've met you before, so I'm really lucky to know you anyway. But where can people get in touch with you, or where can they see announcements about Foo, about what Brad's doing, where, your WordPress.org handle, that type of thing, so that people can actually experience I think you've got about 7 or 8 plugins in WordPress.org as well. So I know that Foo Gallery is great. But, there's other opportunities to use plugins, like you've got a Twitter one and various other things going on as well. So tell us where we can find you.
Okay, so I think the best way to get in touch with myself, or if you want to check out Foo plugins, is on the Foo plugins website. So fooplugins.com. We've got pages on Foo Gallery. We've got a lot of info on FooBox, so you can check them out there. On WordPress.org, my handle is Brad Vin, BRADVIN, and you can contact me through the support forums through one of the plugins there, and you can check out what I've been working on. I'm a little embarrassed to say that there are a few plugins under my profile that haven't been updated in quite a long time. So don't be too hard on me if you go there. Have a look, please.
You're about 90% of every plugin developer out there. It's hard to keep up with it all. Brad, I'm gonna thank you for your time today, and as I say, we'll speak again. And thanks for taking part in Tools Are Tools, presented by Elegant Marketplace.
Thank you very much for having me. Cheers, Andrew.
Cheers.